What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fun House. Joker Voice here, Chuck Fisher, and we're back for Chapter 4 of the Book of Boba Fett. Before we get started, I want to shout out a couple channels here. 2/3 of Toxic Femininity. You can catch that Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Figure out your time zones on Midnight's Edge After Dark. So I want to shout out the host, LaReina Creole. Check out her channel. She lives down in Orlando. She does a lot of like theme park, pop culture. Very, very cool and a lot of great guests on there. And the other is Nina Infinity. Also one of the Toxic Femme analysts. Also does a show midweek talking about just news of the day. And then Friday she does a very positive, uplifting show to send you into your weekend with a smile on your face. Something I can relate to. So, again, I'll leave a link for both those channels down in the description. And let's get started. So, here we go. We start with an opening scene. We're in the Bacta tank, so we know we're going to have a flashback. And we start off. Boba is on his bantha and going through the Dune Sea. All by himself, kind of like a man on a raft in an ocean of sand. Comes up on Jabba's palace. He's looking through the back gate, entranceway. He sees some Queequays, some Niktos, Gamorreans, and he's not. Goes back. He pops up, goes back to his bantha, and goes, "Not today, girl. Too many guards still." So obviously he's got a plan to get into the palace. They go nighttime shot. Boba's eating by the fire, feeds his bantha some food. The bantha wagged its tail. Kind of cute, not gonna lie. And then we see two flashes in the sky. And then we hear the Mandalorian theme. Okay, so now we know where we are in the entire time frame now. We're in the events of Season 1 of Mandalorian, Episode 5, The Gunslinger. Confirm with this as we see him walk up on Fennec Shand, who has already been shot in the gut and been left for dead. Title card. Chapter 4, The Gathering Storm. Boba then takes Fennec to what's known as a mod parlor. So the kids we saw back in the previous episode, I know we won't talk about them too much. Relax. Goes to the place where they get their modifications done, and it has a very much like a tattoo shop vibe to it. Just as someone who has a few tattoos, I kind of know that vibe. And so now we see where Fennec got her robo guts. So that makes sense now. And Fennec wakes up. Boba knows who she is. Master Assassin Fennec Shand from the Mid Rim. He says who he is. Boba Fett. Fennec says Boba's dead. I was. And off needs her help to get his fire spray gunship. It's still Slave 1. But yes, fire spray is the classification of Boba's ship. So it's still Slave 1. Fennec then says, "I'll help you, but my debt for all this is paid for." And Boba's like, "Okay, cool." So then we're off to Jabba's palace, and they're scouting out the place. Fennec has a little drone, goes in and scouts the whole place, and they get their plan going, and they break out Slave 1. Doesn't quite go exactly as planned. A little messy, but the end result is good. Fennec then asks him, where are you going? And Fennec Boba's is, "I've got some scores to settle. Your debt is clear now. Where should I drop you off? Fennec's like, I'm going to tag along. I'm going to see what you got going here. So next scene, we see the Nyktos Sand Riders, and they're zooming across the sand. And from behind, we see Slave One coming in on them, and Boba just lays waste, lights them up, is just ruthless. And it is such a great sequence of events there. It is awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Looks over at Fennec's like, all right, I see what you're laying down. Okay. Then they decide to head on over to the Sarlacc pit, and the model work, or if it's CGI, I'm not quite sure, but if either way, it's amazing. Just the hovering around the pit of Slave One, so beautiful, so beautiful. They tilt, and they're starting to go into the Sarlacc pit. Boba thinks his armor's still down there. Obviously, didn't quite remember he was rolled by the Jawas. Those stinking Jawas. Jerks. So they're looking down into the Sarlacc pit, and I assumed that he had killed the Sarlacc when he busted his way out. Nope. That Sarlacc is alive, and it's trying to drag Slave One down and eat it. Boba's firing the cannons. Nothing's working. It's still pulling him down. Fennec unstraps herself, reaches up, and you know what's coming. Oh, yes. Drops one of the most beautiful weapons in Star Wars. Falls into the Sarlacc's mouth. Fennec says, fire in the hole. We see that flash of blue light, and then that amazing sound of a seismic charge. Music. Absolute music. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We then go, and Boba and Fennec are talking, and Boba begins talking about his motivation. Yes, he has motivation for what he's planning on doing. He wants to stop being a hunter. He's not looking to do that life anymore. The time with the Tuskens, he was obviously with the Tuskens for quite some time, because the when he was captured by the Tuskens to the time he meets Fennec Shand is about a 5-year span. So he either had a lot of time to think about and contemplate this life that he wanted, or he was with the Tuskens all this time, and this happened very recently. One of the two. And he then offers Fennec to be a partner with him. In exchange, he will guarantee that he will defend her life at all costs. This is not something Fennec's ever really gotten before, so she's in. Very cool. And from there, we cut. Boba leaves the Bacta tank, and his droid says, "Congratulations, Lord Fett. You are fully healed." Meaning we're probably not going to get another Bacta scene, which means we're probably not going to get another flashback scene. So we are caught up now. All the backstory has been laid, and we're ready to go. We're ready to move forward. Boba wants his armor. Fennec is like, are you sure that's such a good idea? We could have a war breaking out at any moment. You might want to stay close. Boba then says, I need to be seen. Power hates a vacuum. So then we move over to the Sanctuary, the lovely bar, casino, and we see some Trandoshians are having some good luck at the table there. Good for them. However, there's someone who's looking at them. Not very happy seeing them doing well. It's Black Chrysanthemum. And as I explained earlier in one of my earlier videos, Black Chrysanthemum is a Wookiee. Wookiees and Trandoshans don't get along. Trandoshans have been were known for kidnapping and hunting Wookiees for sport. Chrysanthemum decides that's it, bar fight, and he just starts throwing these guys around like rag dolls. One of them makes the big mistake, breaks a glass over the back of his head, which Chrysanthemum turns around, lifts him up to when Garza Whip comes over and says, Chrysanthemum, this is not you anymore. That time is gone. You were a champion among champions. You have nothing more to prove. What was heroic and fueled the bloodlust of the pits is now horrific and cruel. And you've racked up quite a bar tab. So if you just let this poor Trandoshan go, I will erase your debt. Black Chrysanthemum looks at her, looks at the Trandoshan. We get that growl, and Black Chrysanthemum does what Wookiees are known for, but we haven't seen yet. Rips an arm out of a socket. And the customers are justifiably horrified. Black Chrysanthemum then takes the credits that the Trandoshan had won, gives it to Garza Whip's assistant, begins to walk out. Boba Fett's looking like, all right, worth a shot. And then we cut to outside the sanctuary on the streets. Boba Fett then tells Black Chrysanthemum, "You looking for a job?" Chrysanthemum turns around, gives a little eyebrow raise. "Oh yeah, Boba's building a crew." Ooh, it's a good starting point too. Then we decide to then we go back to the palace. Dinner. Boba is entertaining the three families who had Mos Espa divided during the reign of Bib Fortuna, the Trandoshans, the Aqualish, and the Klatooinians. And Fennec starts off by explaining that you guys all did great under Jabba. But Bib Fortuna took the throne, which was never his to take, bribed the mayor, and now has brought in the Pikes. Boba Fett then says, it's only a matter of time before the Pikes take over everything. And the Klatooinian says, well, who said you're in charge? What's to stop us from killing you and just taking over for the three families here? What's stopping us? Boba then does a big flex. The dinner table is right above the Rancor pit. Table shakes, claws come out. Boba hands a big meaty bone. That's a good boy. Good boy. The families are all shook. Please. Sit. Boba then proposes a joint defensive alliance between all of them until the Pikes have been vanquished from Tatooine. Klatooinian says, this fight's not with us and the Pikes. We're actually making money from the Pikes. This is a fight between you and the Pikes. This is a you problem, not a we problem. Boba then says, all right, I'll take this on by myself. But I want you guys to vow that you will remain neutral if the Pikes come and try to recruit you to their side. Trandoshans agree. Aqualish agree. Klatooinians agree. We have an accord. And the final scene is Boba and Fennec watching the families drive off, and Fennec's like, are you sure we can trust them? Boba is like, I trust that they're going to do whatever it takes to protect their own self-interest. They know they're not going to get a better deal from the syndicate than they will with me. But in the meantime, we need to prepare for war. And Fennec's like, well, how much do we have in the treasury? Boba's like, I got plenty of credits. It's muscle that I don't have. Fennec then says, well, you can always buy muscle if you know where to look. And it ends with Din Djarin's Mandalorian theme playing. Cut. Woo! And reaction channels. I watch you guys. I like you guys. But seriously, if you're at the end of that, and if you're asking, is Din Djarin going to show up? Is Din Djarin going to show up? Really? You don't drop that hint unless Din Djarin is showing up. So we can pretty much guarantee by the end of this season, Din Djarin is showing up to help Boba Fett. Out of nothing else but a courtesy for what Boba Fett did for him to rescue Baby Grogu. So yeah, that's a quick synopsis of the episode there. And I thought this was amazing. This was, again, one of the longer episodes. It was 48 minutes. The second episode was 52 minutes. The two in between were both 38. The first and the third episode were both 38 minutes. This was directed by Kevin Tenturian, and of course written by Jon Favreau. Kevin Tenturian is mostly known for the Mortal Kombat series and the live action, the Mortal Kombat film. So kudos to him. Great episode. I thought this episode was really great. I know there's been a lot of negative backlash for lack of Boba's motivation, lack of Boba being ruthless, lack of Boba Fett being a killer. Well, we got all that. So for now, let's keep the complaining to a minimum, okay? But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed it a lot. I think this is probably the best episode so far of the 4. And I'm definitely excited to see where we're going. We got 3 more left. 3 episodes left, guys. And very excited. So now we're going to move into the Keep Talking segment, as we have been. And just something that I've been asked a lot. And again, it's not out of the malicious place or whatever, but I've been told numerous times, oh, you stutter. I know a cure for that. Stuttering is not a disease. People who stutter are not sick. Is it a disability? Yes, it is. But it's not a sickness. For myself, and I'm sure the general consensus of how it works is my brain moves way faster than the muscles in my vocal cords do. So when my brain sends signals, the information doesn't register as quickly as it should. So my vocal cords, the muscles in my vocal cords don't move as freely, and thus air doesn't pass through as smoothly as someone who speaks normally. Just a little tidbit there on how the mechanics of stuttering works. And in my list of celebrities that I looked up for people with a speech impediment, just to give you some other, just so that we're not alone. I don't know who this person is, but vocalist Kendrick Lamar has a speech impediment. So yeah, interesting. We're all over the place. And so yeah, that's it, guys. Real quick, pacing in this episode was great for one of the longer episodes. It really moved. It had a great pace to it, and Again, so another thing. We're at 45 subs right now, guys. At the time of this recording, we're at 45 subs. We need 5 more for 50. 5 more by episode 6, and you know what happens for the season finale then. So, if you like the video, smash the like button, drop a comment. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff. And please share the video. The more eyes we get, the more possible subs we get, the more this thing grows. And as I say every week, folks, have a great day. Always have fun. Hashtag keep talking, and always keep a smile on your face. Toodles!